Hi, everybody, and you're very welcome along to episode 8, season 5 of our Keep It Simple series, all about property. Now, today I just want to lightly touch on staging and styling of property. So, I suppose now that we're coming into September, which is traditionally one of the next best windows, if you like, or time period to present your property to the market. So, just to go through a few points. So, when you're ready to present your property to the market for sale, one of the most important factors is to have it looking as beautiful as possible. It's all about presentation. So we've often heard a buyer's not just buying the four walls and the roof, they're buying into the lifestyle of the whole property as well. So the way your property looks, I suppose, and feels has a huge impact on how quickly the property will sell and also the final price at which it will sell. So this is where staging and styling comes into its own. A buyer can imagine themselves living there. And I can honestly say that staging will add 10% plus to the over the asking price when your property is staged before presenting to the market for sale. So like it makes sense if you think of it. Most buyers start their search online, their property search online. So a staged property with beautiful photos will automatically catch the eye and make that property will stand out. I get it all the time. Some people, buyers or sellers would say to me, "Oh God, that's a bit too costly. Like, I don't know if I can afford that." I can guarantee you it costs very little to actually, you genuinely don't have to spend too much to actually add light to a property, to give it a lift. There's so many little things you can do that cost next to nothing. Just give it a lift. And from my experience, the final sales price significantly outweighs the cost of staging. And it will most definitely gives a distinct return on your investment. And I suppose a beauty presented home also shows the incoming buyers that the property is very well, it's been well cared for, and it'll encourage more people to do it more strongly. And I suppose, as we can see from the stock levels, there's more stock coming on the market as landlords now are leaving. So it's becoming more competitive. As I say, it's really important that your property stands out. So the staging will highlight the best, strongest points of the property. And it really position your property, it'll make it stand out, as I say, position your property as one of the strongest options available to a buyer. I can just give you an example. So we recently handled a sale of an apartment up in Rathfarnham, and due to time constraints and resources, the owner just wasn't able to give the time to the staging. So we actually presented to the market unfurnished. So it sat on the market for a few weeks. There was a few viewings, but very little interest. In actual fact, I'd have to say that the property looked lifeless. So we actually staged it ourselves. We took new photographs and we relaunched the property. So I can honestly say within 2 days, the number of inquiries had increased. And the very first viewing after the relaunch, we got an offer at the asking price. So it needs to say the seller was both relieved and delighted, but it was just proof of the pudding. Proof is in the pudding there that of the power of staging and even lightly styling a property. So what I would say, just to reiterate, that the very much proves the point that the staging style will maximize your return. So if you're preparing your property now for the market as we come into September for sale, our team would gladly just guide you through how best to present it to the market and give you any advice that you need. Thanks for listening.